And welcome back. Tonight we're focusing on your money, the questions that are constantly on the mind of most of us here in West Michigan and nationwide. Where can we make the best investment going into the new year? What can we expect from the economy in 2014? Will business be doing well? Well, today, two leaders with Fifth Third Bank were in West Michigan sharing their 2014 economic predictions. Joining us in studio, one of those individuals, Mitch Stapley, Chief Investment Officer with Fifth Third. Thanks for coming in, Mitch.
Great to be here.
Looking forward, what is encouraging you about the market? It's been on a tear.
Stocks, even after the tear, Brian, are probably pretty reasonably priced. You know, I've got a P today in the S&P 500 of about 16.1. 35-year average is about 16.35. So we've come up a long way off the bottom we saw back in March of 2009, but it's fairly valued. Now, next year, with a little more growth from the economy, maybe we get not quite the returns we're seeing this year, but we're thinking, in the 7 to 9% type return next year seems reasonable. But there is a chance of some volatility out there. We've got a lot on the table with the Fed and the government right now.
Is Wall Street seeing what they need to see as far as job growth, as far as going into the retail season, even spending's, I guess, on track? But you worry, is the bubble out there somewhere?
Right. I think what Wall Street's seeing out there right now, Brian, is corporate earnings. And corporate earnings have been pretty decent. Definitely the third quarter came in better than we expected. We're seeing signs that the Fed's not going to be doing anything until probably the first quarter of next year, so the market's taking some comfort in that. And I think overall they're seeing signs that confidence is beginning to rebound. So all those come together to drive the market higher.
Data also shows, though, that the difference between the haves and the have-nots, it's never been greater than it is right now. Is that sustainable going forward?
No, it's not. No, it's not. And that's really, if you want to see this market really take off, if we can begin to see job creation that really begins to pull in more people into the workforce, get the participation rate up, people that have dropped out of the workforce over the last 5-6 years begin to find full-time jobs and come back into the workforce, that would be huge news, Brian. And that's I think, what Wall Street's going to be focused on in 2014, 2015. The number of people that have essentially moved out of the workforce being brought back in, that'd be huge.
You talked about some of the things that might trip us up next year, the government's actions being one of them, the Fed kind of indicating that they may pull back on some of the stimulus spending. Is that a concern for Wall Street?
Oh, it definitely will be. It definitely will be. We saw some of that when we first got a hint of that back in May. You saw some volatility in the market. So that's going to be a concern, undoubtedly. And we think probably March of 2014 is when we begin to see that. So that's something we're going to be watching closely. You also have to figure that the rollout of the ACA of Obamacare, that's a huge unknown right now.
Right. I was going to say that's the other unknown is this Affordable Care Act with Obamacare. The next 6 months, I've got to believe, are do or die as far as
absolutely
what the markets think is going to happen.
Yeah, because we just don't know how much is it going to cost. And if Wall Street doesn't know, the business community doesn't know. The business community has to be able to answer the question, how much does that new employee cost me in terms of salary and health care when I put them on? If they can't answer that question, hiring doesn't pick up.
Exactly. If that's an unknown, everything kind of remains stagnant. Mitch Stapley with Fifth Third, we appreciate your insight. Thanks for coming in tonight.
Thanks.